What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So you see what we at here. You know what I'm saying? So Andrew Tate, of course, had to speak upon the Diddy situation and things like that. And we're definitely going to see what Andrew Tate had to say about this situation because, we all know, man, Diddy be having, a little time and stuff. He can't get bail, but he beat the serious charges and things like that. So, man, listen, look, it's crazy out here for old Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Old Puffy, you know. But all right, so we're gonna dive off into it. Let's see what Andrew Tate had to say. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
No, but I find this interesting because most people are too stupid to understand these false dichotomies we live under. And let's take Diddy, for example, right? I'm not defending Diddy.
Yeah.
What he did was probably wrong. I don't know. I haven't followed the case. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know what Diddy did. The guy, he was anti-Trump. He hated me. Me and Diddy don't even like each other. The only time we interacted on Twitter was beef. So I'm not defending the guy. What I'm saying is that black culture in America, the music, the culture, all it is sexualizing women and whore, getting as much money as possible, being a gangster, waving guns around, fucking loads of women. That's the culture.
That sounds like you.
Careful. So if that's the culture that the black society is going to promote, if that's what the music is going to push, if that's what's seen as the end goal of success in the black community, becoming a rapper, becoming famous, being feared, having guns, being a gangster, being a criminal, if all of this is what they're pushing and they're saying this is the end goal of success, and then someone gets there and does it, and then we say, he was threatening women and he was waving a gun around and he was fucking loads of women. So what I'm saying is, it's very hypocritical, this society we live in now, where we push people in a certain direction. And then as soon as they end up exactly where they're headed, we have a go at them for it and pretend they shouldn't be there. It is absolutely false to declare that women are not being sexualized. Women are told to be promiscuous now. Women are told to be sexual now. Yeah. So when a woman ends up promiscuous and sexually liberated, who are we to sit and say, I can't believe this has happened? It's completely asinine. It's a double standard.
I definitely agree on that point, because at the end of the day, listen, look, we in the black community, we have been pushing this shit for quite some time now, ever since gangster rap really hit the scene. Now, gangster rap back in the day used to actually have a message in tow with trying to explain what was actually going on in the hood at that time. It was a whole different dynamic. It was a message within the music and things like that. But, it seems like the late 90s, early 2000s, things started changing. And of course, rap music got way more profitable, and it became, not just this little, music shit. It became a actual business and started making, millions upon billions of dollars in revenue, and it started being popular and everybody was commercials and things. So yeah, and I can see how this is being pushed, and now it's just out of control. It's just completely out of control. We got the young YNs, they're losing their, but where they've lost their mind. The music has no real message anymore. It's just, destroy, do all types of debaucherous things to women. And, it's like, that's what's being pushed to us now, because technically, let's just keep this real. So the black community does not control rap or hip hop anymore.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Sorry, but let's just keep this real here. We don't control that anymore. That escaped us, at least a decade ago, around the late 90s, early 2000s, it started transforming into this nothing but profit situation. The black community does not control their own image anymore at all.
False dichotomy. And it's amazing to me that we live in this world. If you're going to have black rap music push people to be in big mansions with a bunch of fucking them, taking drugs and waving guns around,
right,
don't be surprised when black people do it. And don't be surprised when women end up when we're telling women to be whores. If you want women to do something else, then tell them to do something else. I don't know why we're surprised by it. The thing that's unsettling in all of this is still the role of the average man, who's expected to get far less in terms of loyalty and quality and standard from a woman than he's ever had, and pay a far higher price. Our grandfathers got a woman. He didn't have to be rich. He didn't have to even be famous. He didn't have to be successful. He just had to be a man and do the most basic things. And she loved him and he loved her and they had a happy relationship. Our grandfathers got a woman for all. Now, to get a woman who cares about you, you need to be one of the most famous, rich, well-known, drive a Lambo, this, X, Y, Z. The average man's fucking wrecked.
Right.
And the role of men in all of this is completely forgotten because nobody gives a shit about men. We're hypersexualizing women. And let's be honest, Bonnie is smart enough to monetize her own content. But most women who are promiscuous are not smart enough to monetize.
So isn't Bonnie part of the problem then?
Bonnie is a symptom of society. I don't want to say of the disease of society. I could, but she's a symptom. She's the end result of the society we have built, which is why it is hypocritical.
Which you think is degrading.
I'm living the best I can.
Now I can see where he's come. I can see what Andrew just was trying to explain here. Now listen, look, this is the also thing about the situation. The black culture is a symptom, is, you know, say pretty much a symptom of the way that, you know, say our music is being, you know, promoted to us. Like I say, we don't control our music anymore. We don't control our image anymore as the black culture. We don't. We haven't in decades now. It's been decades since we've actually had some type of, you know, hand on the wheel of controlling our image as the black community here in America. So this is just the truth. Now, you know what I'm saying, what he said round up, basically, you know, what Diddy did, they already, you know, they've always been promoting this situation, these parties, things like that. Diddy always been a party guy, things like that. And, you know, now that, you know, it's hitting the fan that he's been having these freak offs and stuff like that, which, you know, the freak offs are not illegal. And, you know, push come to shove, you know, the state and stuff like that, where the federal government tried to, you know, put this RICO thing on him, like he was just, you know, this enterprise of criminal stuff. And it's like, nah, they couldn't really prove that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't be RICO as one person. It takes multiple upon multiple people to help you run a enterprise to make it RICO. Like, you can't you can't be one man being catch a RICO case. And that's not how RICO works.
Plan in the world that's already been built. I don't give a shit about changing the world. The
She's
world
not here
has
to change
given
it.
me the opportunity to do what I do and monetize from it. I'm going to do that.
But
don't see
you
me-
said you thought you were a positive role
No,
model.
but Rob,
to men.
Rob.
Well,
this
I
is-
am positive because you think of the day I've 1,000 men. If you were this, would you go and find someone else? No, I've shared my location. Come and f me. Like, I'm reducing rates. When you have sex workers that are available and guys want to have sex, they want to breathe, they want to. And if they can't find a girlfriend or they can't afford to pay for one, because prostitutes nowadays can be expensive, I'm saying, hey, I'm doing it for free. Just come f me. Take it out on me because I consent to that. So I'm not promoting, people say I promote culture and stuff. I'm not. I'm saying, hey, I enjoy it. I get wet. I get turned on. I wank over my videos. Come and f me.
This is where we are.
Hmm.
And the only reason I'm not overly sexual, truthfully, is because I see it for what it is and I don't really want to partake too much. And it's literally saved my life. Or I'd be in jail right now. And what would I have done wrong? Nothing. Is there anything wrong with 4 or 5 women? No. If they all want to, what's wrong with it? Nothing.
Yeah, I think as long as
Is
everything.
I'll be honest. Is baby oil illegal? I mean, we talk about it all the time.
Was hard to buy for a while in the shops, though.
No, well, we talk about it all the time like it's evidence of crime. I'm not defending Diddy. I don't even fucking like him. I'm saying he had baby oil. Okay, where's the crime? He f***ed all these women. Where's the crime? Oh, he had another man f*** his girl. Where's the crime?
I think
Where's
as long
the
as things are
crime?
Consensual.
There's no crime. But people are so stupid. Look, he had a bunch of sex. Jail. That's not how it works. We're telling people to have a bunch of sex. We're encouraging people to have a bunch of sex. We're telling women to have a bunch of sex. We're telling men to whoever they want and not have kids. This is what we're telling people to do. And then we're saying it's against the law when the person does something they don't like.
Right. And basically what he explaining.
So what the French toast is gonna think
Basically
about.
what he explaining about what society is telling men and women to do out here. This is just the damn truth. Sorry, people, but it's real. It's real. This is what the culture of America is telling everybody to do. You know, be wild, be free. You know, have as much sex as you want, have as many children as you want out of wedlock, do all this, do all that. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, like he said, though, at the same time, though, too, you know, when you get individuals like, you know, Puffy and shit, and he, you know, some of it took a little too far. The hotel shit, that was way too far. You know, and things like that. But, you know, yeah, come on now. The freak offs are not a crime. It's not a crime. And you can't really charge him with trafficking, because definitely in the courtroom, you know, saying a lot of people was like, you know, they were coming there because they wanted to be there. Like, you know, it's all on video footage. Everybody was like, you know, ain't no party like a Diddy party. People wanted to go there. People wanted to go there. Let's just, come on, man. Come on.
It's a false dichotomy we live in. It saved my life that I didn't do it. Thanks. No blowjob that good. Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm boring.
Until me.
Bonnie, I know you would never cry, but somehow I'd end up with a human trafficking charge for touching you. I don't know. They'd say I forced you to do it. Nah, no.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Hey, so yeah, it is what it is at that point. But you know what I'm saying? Andrew spoke a lot of facts about the way that society is and what's going on, and definitely, you know, dealing with Diddy and stuff like that. You know, I mean, this is the point that we're at. We push these things in society and stuff like that, in our music, in our culture as a whole. And it doesn't matter. I'm not breaking this shit down to no particular race or none of that right now. You know, I already spoke about what's going on in the Black culture, but now it's time to talk about the culture as a whole of America. It's no way that we could keep pushing these ideologies about, you know, everybody having, just doing whatever they want to do, having as much sex as they want, things like that, with when we know it's consequences behind this situation, but everybody wants to ignore it until the shit hits the fan, and you have to deal with the consequences, because consequences are going to come regardless of whether you like them or not. It's going to happen. And this is where we at here. So yeah. And, you know, then we vilify people that, you know, do the things that we promote in society. And like Andrew said, which is the truth, you know, get money, do this and that, woo to woo, fast cars and all. And, you know, we promote that. And then we wonder why people end up in these crazy scenarios and, you know, getting locked up and also getting charges with, you know, things and stuff like that. So yeah, man, we're kind of doing it to ourselves in this culture, instead of calming our asses down, trying to get families back and trying to do, you know, right by our culture so we can actually be prosperous and respected around the world.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.